The Big Bang Theory. One quote from each main character that goes against their personality. The Big Bang Theory is a beloved sitcom that thrives on the vivid, often exaggerated personalities of its main characters. Each of them has a distinct, well-defined persona that shapes their speech, actions, and interactions, from Sheldon Cooper's rigid literalism to Penny's street smart sass. But sometimes they say things that seem to contradict their established character traits, revealing surprising layers or moments of irony. Let's explore one standout quote from each main character that goes against their usual personality, unpacking what these moments tell us about them. Sheldon Cooper, I'm capable of change. Sheldon Cooper, the quintessential neurotic genius, is famously rigid, stubborn, and resistant to change. His love of routine, his obsessive-compulsive tendencies, and his blunt, inflexible worldview have been the cornerstone of the show's humor. Throughout the series, Sheldon resists adapting to social norms or altering his habits. So when Sheldon says, "I'm capable of change," it feels almost like a cosmic anomaly. This line, from a pivotal moment in Season 11, is starkly out of character. Sheldon says it during a heartfelt conversation with Amy, admitting that his relationship has made him evolve. For someone who has often dismissed emotional growth as illogical or unnecessary, this admission reveals a profound breakthrough. Why does this go against Sheldon's personality? Because Sheldon normally prides himself on being fixed, unchanging, the same superior intellect day after day. His refusal to change has often been a comedic crutch, but this quote shows that even the most unyielding personalities have room to grow when motivated by love and friendship. In this moment, Sheldon's character deepens, his famous rigidity softens, making him more human. It's a reminder that personality is not a prison but a starting point, and even the most stubborn minds can bend. Leonard Hofstadter, maybe I don't want to be the nice guy all the time. Leonard is the classic nice guy nerd, often portrayed as kind, patient, and sometimes too accommodating. He frequently tries to keep the peace among his friends and to appease Penny and Sheldon's eccentricities. His personality revolves around being the rational mediator, often sacrificing his own needs to maintain harmony. However, in Season 7, Leonard says, "Maybe I don't want to be the nice guy all the time." This is strikingly against his established persona. Leonard, the quintessential good guy, here reveals a rare moment of frustration and self-assertion. Why is this out of character? Leonard's default behavior has been to avoid conflict and be the dependable nice guy, even at the expense of his happiness. This quote challenges the idea that Leonard's niceness is just his natural state. Instead, it hints at a complex inner life where he sometimes yearns to break free of the nice guy stereotype. This moment is a glimpse at Leonard's vulnerability and suppressed desire for independence. It also resonates with many viewers who feel pressured to constantly be nice, even when it's draining. Penny, I don't care what people think about me. Penny, the outgoing, sassy, and sometimes insecure aspiring actress turned pharmaceutical saleswoman, is a character who often worries about others' opinions. She grew up in a small town and frequently wrestles with feelings of inadequacy compared to her highly intellectual boyfriend, Leonard, and their nerdy friend group. Yet, in one episode, Penny boldly declares, "I don't care what people think about me." This seems to contradict her usual sensitivity to social judgment and her need for approval. Why is this surprising? Because Penny's humor often derives from her insecurity about fitting in with the intellectual crowd and her own self-doubts. She frequently seeks validation and approval from Leonard and others. This quote, therefore, marks a moment of self-empowerment and confidence. It breaks the mold of Penny as the insecure girl next door and shows her evolving into a more self-assured woman who can reject judgment and stand her ground. This declaration reminds us that even characters who seem defined by insecurity can have moments of strength and self-acceptance. Howard Wolowitz, I'm scared of being alone. Howard Wolowitz is the flamboyant, cocky engineer with a penchant for cheesy pickup lines and exaggerated bravado. His personality is brash, confident, and often sarcastic, a sharp contrast to the socially awkward intellectualism of his friends. What makes his confession, "I'm scared of being alone," so striking is how it exposes vulnerability beneath his bravado. Howard often uses humor and overconfidence as a mask for deeper insecurities, especially about his worth and relationships. Why is this out of character? Howard's character usually downplays or hides any sign of fear or weakness. His ego-driven persona makes him seem fearless and brash, but this quote cracks that facade. By admitting this fear, Howard reveals his humanity, a need for connection and acceptance. It adds emotional depth to a character often played for laughs, showing that underneath his loud personality lies a very real and relatable anxiety. Rajesh Koothrappali, I'm tired of hiding who I am. Raj starts the series with severe selective mutism around women, unable to speak in their presence without alcohol. He is shy, insecure, and often feels isolated. His character arc includes gradual growth in confidence and social skills. The quote, "I'm tired of hiding who I am," is significant because it marks a turning point from his initial secrecy and avoidance to a desire for authenticity. Why is this contradictory? Early Raj hides much of himself, speaking in hushed tones, relying on alcohol, and avoiding confrontations. His defining trait is concealment of his true feelings and identity. This statement shows Raj's frustration with living a half-life and signals his journey toward openness. It's a bold step for a character who has habitually retreated into his shell. It reminds the audience that behind the comedic awkwardness is a real person grappling with acceptance and the courage to be authentic. Amy Farah Fowler, I want to be spontaneous. Amy, often called the female Sheldon, is analytical, socially awkward, and cautious. She values routine, intellectual stimulation, and predictability, often mirroring Sheldon's rigid worldview. When Amy says, I want to be spontaneous, it goes against her deeply ingrained personality of careful planning and control. Why is this unexpected? Amy's character development involves slowly embracing social norms, but she still struggles with impulsiveness and unpredictability. This desire shows her wish to break free from constraints and explore emotional freedom. It humanizes her, making her relatable to anyone who battles between logic and emotion. It's a charming contradiction, the neuroscientist who longs to toss aside reason and just act on impulse. Bernadette Rostenowski Wolowitz, I don't need to be in control all the time. Bernadette is known for her commanding personality. She is intelligent, ambitious, and often the boss in her relationship with Howard. Her sharp tongue and fierce confidence often make her seem domineering. However, the quote, I don't need to be in control all the time, reveals a softer side, contradicting her usual controlling demeanor. Why is this surprising? Bernadette's assertiveness and desire for control have been her defining traits, both at work and at home. This quote reflects moments of vulnerability where she admits that relinquishing control can be healthy and necessary. It's a rare glimpse of humility and trust in others. It enriches her character, showing that even the strongest personalities meet him